Hey guys, it's your Friday Guy Ty here, and today I will be talking about being outed without having given consent. So first of all, I'm a stay-at-home parent. My wife goes to work, so I take care of the house and the kid and the animals and everything else. So I don't have any outing experiences to tell you about pertaining to work or school or anything like that. So I will tell you in the brief, almost year now that I have been out as transgender, my couple of experiences that I've had. When I went to the doctor's office, I approached my doctor and told them that I'm transgender and I would like to go by Ty. Well, I have not changed my name legally yet. So what they can do is they can put it on your chart in parentheses, the name, your preferred name, and they'll call you that. And so I was good with that. So one day I had a doctor's appointment and I was sitting in the waiting room and the nurse comes out and in front of everybody blurts out my birth name. So that kind of outed me in front of everybody because I stood up looking like this with that name. So that pretty much was kind of humiliating in a way. Another experience I had, after my top surgery, 4 days later, I had a hematoma develop. And so I had to be rushed to the hospital by my wife, and they wheeled me in to the waiting room in a wheelchair, and my wife went up to the receptionist at the desk, and the receptionist asked for the ID of the person being seen. So my wife gave her my driver's license at the time, and at the time I didn't even have my gender marker changed, which I have since, but still legal name on the driver's license and a very female looking face on the driver's license. So the lady's like, no, I need his driver's license. And so my wife, in front of everybody in a crowded waiting room in an emergency room, had to say, well, he's transgender. And the lady's like, oh, and still proceeded to call me she. So having a hematoma develop and everybody sitting around staring at you, and I was outed, and it was just, that was a terrible experience all in all. So that was that experience. And you know, another thing that I have a problem with and I worry about is fearing for my safety, basically. You know, basically what I do is I run Ben around, my son, and he's 13, so he has a lot of activities that he does. And I go to the gym, I go to the grocery store, take care of the house, run errands, what have you. But I do fear being outed in the locker room, the men's locker room at the gym. And I do use it every day because I'm a swimmer and I swim every day. So if ever I was outed, nobody knows, but if they were ever to see certain parts, that would be probably not a good thing in a men's locker room. So there's that whole, you know, fear factor of, you know, being attacked or challenged or beat up by a burly guy, you know. But pertaining to my son, Ben, you know, I want my son to feel comfortable talking about his home life. So I intentionally have not placed any restrictions on him. But I fear that possibly one of his classmates or one of his friends might out me to the wrong person, or out me to their parents, who might not agree with someone being transgender, and I fear that maybe the parent might get violent or possibly forbid my son to hang around with their kid, and that would kind of suck for my son. So that's that, and another thing I'm struggling with is deciding if and when I will go to my old stomping grounds, my old haunts, like my restaurants I used to go to, bars, still haven't been to the vet, that kind of thing, because so many people will recognize me from my former self. I mean, at least I think they will. I'm waiting as long as possible in my transition to go to these places so I look totally different, but people can tell in the eyes, I think, especially people that you really knew. And we spent 5 years going to the same couple places that we've avoided for the past year. And people will definitely recognize me, and I will be outed. And so that's going to be my biggest challenge, or at least one of my biggest challenges this year, is whether and I live in a small town, so there's not a lot of options of places to go, so we have been limited. We really want to go out to eat, we have to drive a good distance, to do that. And it sure would be nice to just be able to go down the street and go to our local bar and have a drink, or restaurant and eat. But yeah, the whole outing thing, basically, it's not cool to out somebody without their consent. So just don't do it. Period. So that's all I have to say on that subject. So I will talk to you guys next Friday. That's my tea day. Yeah. Alright, talk to you soon.